Hi, it's Caleb the Comic Book Viking.
And I'm Eli Smith.
And we are the Hero Panel Podcast. Yeah, we're talking about everything that's hot in the world of comics.
And we're located right here in Manhattan Beach. We were shooting at the Comic Bug.
Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach, and we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. We actually have a special guest today we're really excited about.
Yeah.
He's going to be talking about a really cool project that he is working on. But before we do that, we got a lot to cover in the world of comic book.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know if we're going to get to everything, but we're going to do our best.
We're going to do our very best to talk about as much as we can today.
Yeah.
And let's start just jumping right in with what we've been watching on TV right now.
Can I say it?
Do it.
Daredevil Born Again.
Daredevil Born Again.
Wow. Such a good show.
So as this is filmed, as this podcast is filmed, we just watched the 2-episode drop that happened on Wednesday.
Episodes 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
5 and 6.
Oh my gosh, this
big stuff
show
happening.
Just keeps getting, in my opinion, keeps getting better with each episode.
Absolutely. And just for y'all, we are going to be talking about some minor spoilers. Actually, we're probably going to be talking about
heavy
a lot
spoilers.
Yeah, heavy spoilers. So,
So
just if you, whatever, you can skip ahead or
stamp or something.
But this is your warning.
This
so
is your spoiler warning.
Proceed with caution.
Dude.
Wow.
Just from the get-go, the introduction that we're seeing all of these other vigilantes popping up around New York.
Yeah.
We've got the swordsman.
Oh my
referenced.
gosh. I almost missed it for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
And then they bring him in from Hawkeye,
Yeah.
like the actual Jacques Duquesne. Like he's there in the party with Wilson Fisk, talking about
I'm glad you brought that up and made that connection because some people may not have seen Hawkeye and might have missed that.
If you watched Hawkeye, you know that there's the character of the swordsman who is a very big deal in Marvel Comics. He's an Avenger, I believe, at one point. He's got a really cool comic book history. If you get a chance to check that character out, do some research on that character, you will not be disappointed.
If you like Zorro,
swashbuckler type character, but he was introduced in Hawkeye, and now he's being brought back into Daredevil Born Again, which I will say is my favorite thing about what this Daredevil show is doing. I think it's taking the best of the Netflix series of Daredevil, which is the combat, the grit, the really grounded style storytelling, and the best of the MCU, which is the fact that all of these characters exist in the same space.
Which is what we've always wanted.
Which is what we want.
And you know what's really great about it, especially that clip or that scene where we see him, is Daredevil Born Again is doing this really cool thing where they have this man on the street, sort of it's called BBTV, where they're going around and throughout the episode they'll be interviewing different citizens of the city and just getting
their take on what's happening.
Which is so cool because we always want to know how civilians and how people are
general
reacting.
Population think about all of these crazy things that
because
are
they occupy a very terrifying world, and New York is a scary place.
Yes, but when you think about Hell's Kitchen, the size of Hell's, it's very small.
It is.
It's a very small part of New York. So all of this is, they say Hell's Kitchen, but it is really affecting pretty much all of the. I mean, now that Fisk is mayor, this is affecting everything. Not to mention, speaking of affecting everything, you have an anti-vigilante task force that's now been approved, which is a huge part of not only the Daredevil. It's a huge part of the Daredevil Back in Black storyline by Charles Soule. And then it goes into the Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run, which is, both of those runs are phenomenal. If you haven't read those, we'll throw some covers or something up on the.
There's a lot of really good Daredevil.
So much good Daredevil.
So many. There are several writers that have taken the helm on Daredevil in the past and have just knocked it out of the park. Yes. Easily one of the coolest, most approachable Marvel characters because of just
so much to do with him.
The show has done an immaculate job of just capturing Matt Murdock, his essence, and
the
Daredevil.
Type of villain that Daredevil deals with is just kind of on another level.
Muse is terrifying because he's an actual serial killer, and that's not something you always see in the MCU now. There's not a lot of he's just a full-on serial killer.
You see a lot of tormented pasts. You see a lot of we're doing the wrong thing for the right reasons.
Want to dominate the world,
or we're doing all these things. You very rarely see just someone who is evil.
He is a graffiti artist.
He's an artist,
and there's a catch though.
The material that he uses.
He epoxies over human blood. so they can't remove any of this graffiti that he's been doing.
Because it's a biohazard.
Right, and he's also making this graffiti about Kingpin and his reign and kind of antagonizing him with it.
And it's very political. He's got a message, and we have yet to hear him speak in this show. So we don't know his reasoning. We don't know why he's doing what he's doing. We know that he's kidnapped and kill, and has over 60 victims.
Yes,
to this.
We learned a lot about him in episode 6. They started to the police precincts are beginning to break it down. They're catching on to who he is, and it has spurred Matt Murdock into going and finding him.
Well, and he spurred Matt Murdock into putting on the suit again.
Yeah, and
he has not done up until this point.
And what does he say when he makes that decision?
Fuck it. It was a great moment.
It was good. And then he's swinging on the rooftops after that. And you're just like, boom, we're back.
We're seeing this agile Daredevil. We're seeing the Daredevil. And then once you get into the fight scenes,
oh my God,
they're so well choreographed. They're so brutal. They just feel visceral.
Muse and Daredevil have an amazing fight scene with each other in Muse's hideout.
Honestly, I loved the fight scene from episode 5 where he's going up against the bank robber in the alley.
Yeah,
where Matt is using his cane, his blind, his seeing.
You could see that he also was shaking some of the rust off.
Yes,
you know what I mean. He was he quit, being Daredevil after the death of Foggy.
Spoilers.
But now he's back in the role, and we see this episode 5 is the entire episode is a bank robbery.
Yes, and I love that episode.
Irish bank robbers. We have an Irish John Hamm
on St. Patty's Day.
On St. Patty's Day,
great.
It was amazing.
And we get to see a cool side character reference of Kamala Khan's father.
Yes,
who's in that episode.
Yeah,
he's
actually huge.
Great. I mean, again. My favorite thing about the MCU right now, and in this show especially, is that we're connecting this. We're connecting this.
Connecting it
all.
These
characters all exist within the same space.
He even invites Matt Murdock over for dinner at their place, which kind of tells us, we're probably going to meet.
And, you've seen Matt in a Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
You've seen Matt in She-Hulk.
Yeah, he was Peter's lawyer, right?
He's Peter's lawyer. And they make a reference to that. I'm a damn good lawyer. Like, what kind of lawyer? The damn good one. That is so clever. And you can just tell the passion behind this project is still there. These actors. Oh, the fight with Wilson Fisk and the guy in the cage.
Adam.
Oh, that whole Adam. That whole scene was so
So Fisk has been keeping Adam, which used to be one of his, I guess, his henchmen, one of his top leaders of his gang. And Adam had unfortunately had a promiscuous sort of relationship with his wife Vanessa.
Yeah.
So Kingpin's been keeping Adam locked up in a cell deep beneath his
basement.
In
his wine cellar.
In his wine cellar.
Very cask of Amontillado.
and Kingpin's beginning to realize at this point that being mayor isn't enough. No, it's not enough, and he's not able to accomplish the things he wants to accomplish without truly becoming the Kingpin again. So he's kind of on the same trajectory Matt's been on.
Realizing that the system that exists does not afford him the freedom to go and do the things that he believes are necessary. Spoiler alert, that's exactly what Matt's realizing too.
Absolutely. And what's really cool about it is you watch both of them come to this sort of conclusion simultaneously. The scenes kind of run side by side, and the episode ends in this, awesome culmination of this badass action scene where we're cutting back to Fisk beating the heck out of Adam. He gives Adam a chance, so he comes down there with a fire axe.
He gives him an axe.
He gives him a fire axe and basically says, come at me.
It's an equalizer.
Yeah, he's like, come at me. And didn't even stand a chance.
No. Because we are also seeing, and I think this is something that's interesting, in the first couple episodes with Kingpin, you see how emaciated he is, how thin he's gotten since he's been in prison.
And what does he do? Yeah.
And he puts on a jacket in this, and it just rips it as he's putting on that muscle again.
Yeah.
He's getting to his previous stature, and Vincent D'Onofrio is crushing this role.
I love seeing him back in action. I love seeing him fight. It just felt like, it's the same feeling you got when we see Matt become Daredevil again.
Matt become Daredevil.
It's like, you get that feeling of satisfaction where you're like, there he is.
There it is.
There's my guy.
Yeah.
He's back.
And that's what we watch these for. It's those moments.
Those comeback moments.
So if you're not watching Daredevil Born Again, please check it out. We're going to move on to talking about comics. We got a couple comics topics, and we're even going to maybe throw in a little bit of a surprise. I'm going to surprise Eli with some trivia today. Yeah, so we'll see if he's ready for some comic book trivia. As well as you guys out there at home.
I'm partially ready, I would say. Let's talk about comics this week. Let's talk about the big one.
Yeah, dude.
Batman 158, the sequel to Hush, simply called Hush 2.
Hush 2.
Yeah.
Bringing back the indomitable talent.
Jim Lee.
Jeff Loeb. These guys, man. I read this book, and it felt like I took a cold shower of nostalgia.
Absolutely, and I think that was the goal.
Yeah,
that was the goal. It was to bring us back to this era.
I felt like I woke up in 2002 again, reading comics,
which a lot of us want to do. Let's be honest.
If I could wake up in 2002,
and I think that's probably the best way to describe this book. It takes you right back. We had an amazing release party.
It was
here.
really fun. Yeah, at the Comic Bug.
Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
We did raffles and prizes.
Yeah, and we had some really cool variant covers that came out. We were able to do a early release at 608, which is 158, 158 is 608.
There's quite clever.
There's some Riddler-esque stuff there if you care to dive into it. No. But we were able to...
There was a cool glow-in-the-dark cover.
Awesome.
Oh, my
gold
God.
Foil glow-in-the-dark cover. I very rarely see a foil glow-in-the-dark cover.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool.
And I mean, we're gonna stick with Hush too, but another awesome glow-in-the-dark cover series of Batman Full Moon.
Dude.
Yeah, those are some glow-in-the-dark covers as well.
A 4-issue...
Yeah.
Was it 5? No,
5.
I think it was 4. I think it was only a 4-issue.
Is it over?
Yeah, it's over.
Oh, my God.
And it wrapped up so beautifully. It's a Batman werewolf story. I'm going to just say this.
I still have to read it. I have it. I need to read it, though.
I
love werewolves.
Dude,
I mean, I'm going to just throw that out there right now.
My ring.
I don't have one, but...
He's got knuckles, though.
But I'm a werewolf.
He's been bitten.
Yeah, I've been bitten.
Yeah. But I want to say Batman as a whole in comic books right now is so phenomenally good. You have the main continuity Batman run, which is now Hush 2.
Yeah.
So you're getting this awesome revisitation of these characters set in the modern continuity of All In. So it's not a you're not going back in time for this story. It is currently set in
Which thank you for clarifying that, because I was also wondering, I'm like, are we going back or are we continuing?
We're continuing right after the Zarsky run, right after Absolute Power. This is an all-in story. Dick Grayson is still Nightwing. Barbara is still there. Like all the Jason is Red Hood. Like these characters, the Bat family exists more than they did in the original Hush story. So this is a continuation of that. We have that going on. We have Absolute Batman, which I know we talked about last episode, which is just still
next week is issue number 7, and we are getting a version of Mr. Freeze that is absolutely horrifying,
terrifying.
Oh my God, he's a creature.
And we've got all of these. We've got Batman Detective Comics, which is being written by Tom Taylor right now and is excellent, coming right off of his Nightwing run.
Dark Patterns.
Batman Dark Patterns,
wow.
Guys. If you have not been reading Dark Patterns, I highly encourage you to go pick that up.
Visually as well,
storytelling wise, this is some of the most dark and kind of twisted Batman stories that I've ever. Needless to say, it does not go where you think it's going to go, and there's an amazing twist ending to this, twist to this story that's going to set up a really cool character. So the arc before this had one of the most interesting and really dark, twisted villains that I have seen in comics in a while. Very unique.
Yeah,
and
very creepy.
His whole shtick was that he couldn't feel pain. So you describe this guy like
he's a little bit of a flagellant sort of villain who wounds himself with nails.
He has nails and
all
rebar
over his body.
Covering his body, like stuck through. It's gory. It is gross. It's gruesome. But Batman can't punch him.
Yeah,
he can't fight this guy because if he does, he's going to
get tetanus.
Exactly. Yes, the real superhero killer here, tetanus. No, he's going to. This guy would die.
Yeah.
If he actually fights him, so it's a guy who's doing all this stuff. He can't feel pain. He's moving around, and it's got all this metal in him. Read Batman Dark Patterns is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's still in the beginning. Probably going to have a trade paperback pretty soon.
Very soon.
Very soon.
Getting back into it, Batman, it's just he's a character that has so much room to tell stories with, and every time you cycle back to him and you kind of have him grow or you have him change, just so interesting.
Yeah, it's always full of surprises every time there's a new storyline.
Rogues Gallery.
One story that I really love right now is Batman and Robin Year One.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the art just harkens back to sort of this like classic era where it's it has sort of that like 1950s maybe, but also modern kind of feel to it, and that for me is sort of like where Batman lives in my mind.
Exactly,
and
it's fun.
It's so much
that
fun.
And the Tim Kaine animated series,
right? And and Batman and Robin Year One has sort of that Batman the Animated Series kind of look to it.
It does, and it's really fun.
And that just draws me in because my goodness, that show's amazing.
It's so good.
Yeah,
and like
we'll do a whole episode talking about
just
the animated
Batman
series.
Animated Series, but a nostalgia trip, and in a good way.
Yeah,
I think. People kind of they play on nostalgia a lot, and there is
especially in comic books and things like that.
Because we grew up on these things, and it harkens back to a fun, youthful time and a hopeful time in our lives.
So let's see, we have Hush 2.
Yeah.
Hush 2, and what if you haven't read the original Hush storyline, it's widely available.
Yeah, you can find it in any comic book store. You can find it at the Comic Bug. We have
find
lots
it at
of
the
trades.
Plenty of them. Yep. Also, if you come in here and you pick it up from us, we'll say hi. And
we'll say hi and
shout out.
There's just so many great projects coming out right now. And speaking of really good projects that are on the way, we do want to introduce our special guest. I think this is a good time to introduce our special guest and bring him on.
Yeah, let's get him in here.
All right. So we have a really cool special guest today that we wanted to bring in and talk about some awesome projects that he's been working on. It's Curtis Fortier. And so the project that you are working on, that you've been working on for quite some time.
Yes.
Is called 12-Sided Die.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. We're in our second season, and the cool part
Second season,
numero 2. Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very
much.
Making
one season is already an accomplishment.
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, no. Second season is really cool, and second season partially was shot right here at the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach.
Yep.
So, we're very excited.
That's where we are.
That's exactly where we're at right now.
Wow.
Yep.
You can come visit the on-set location of 12-Sided Die.
You can take a set tour. No, so we it's 2 seasons, and season 1 took probably 10 years to film.
Really?
Just because things happen and people come in and out of your life, and you shoot some and then it doesn't work and you got to go back and reshoot it, and schedules with actors and stuff. It's funny because if you watch like the first episode, you think reviews that Marvel de-aging technology, but it's not. It's actually we actually look that young, and it's weird because the whole first season or the whole takes place over one night. There's a bit of a time break. But for the most part, it's all over one night, and we go from looking like we're 12 to looking like we're much older.
So tell us what the premise of the show is.
Sure, it's a romantic comedy of about a group of friends that play a fictionalized Dungeons and Dragons type game.
Not licensed Dungeons and Dragons.
That is correct. Yeah, no, but I also did that because then I didn't want to have to worry about. Okay, a fireball is 2d6 at 4th level,
and someone
blah, blah, blah,
in the comments would call you out.
Would call me out,
and
it also was kind of restricting because I mean, look, I'm sure if I did a D&D miniseries, all that would inform, but that would inform the show,
narrative,
right? But and I already had the narrative, and I wanted the narrative to inform the game.
Exactly.
So, the game is called Swords and Swordsmen, and it does exist in a world where there is a Dungeons and Dragons because we do mention it.
Okay.
So, but that's the game that the characters play.
Sure.
And the first season is about a guy. The premise is really simple. It's about a guy getting a girl.
Yeah.
And then the second season.
What other kind of story is there?
And the second season is about the guy telling the girl that he's in love with her.
Okay.
So that's it.
So it's a progression.
That's
And then in the background, you have this really cool
total nonsense in the background.
RPG-esque escapades.
So how long have you been playing D&D for? When did you start?
I've been playing D&D since high school.
Okay.
So in fact, the guy Eric Vesbit, who's in the piece, who's in the web series, I played with him back when I was a freshman in high school back in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Wow. We had a mutual friend. I went to high school with Dave Flickinger, and Eric lived up the block from Dave. And Dave's like, let's get together and play with my friend Eric Vesbit, and that's where we met. And then over the years, we would see each other periodically. And then he moved out here, and I moved out here, and we had mutual friends. We went to rival high schools, and then once we were out here, we started playing again. And then I wrote the web series, and I wanted Eric work in it. He works in animation, but he used to be an actor, and he's in the piece. In fact, he did the voice of Kraven in the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series all those years ago.
We just talked about Spectacular Spider-Man.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, he did. He did the voice of Kraven. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
That's so cool. Yeah.
So I wrote the first season and we shot it and he's in it and then we did at the first season premiere party, which was right here at the Comic Bug
again,
yes.
Full circle. We had there was a group. It's based on a D&D spell. Vicious Mockery. There was a Comic Bug kind of D&D group, and before the premiere, we all played. They came in, and then it was like play D&D with the cast. And Christopher German, who's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he's a recurring character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He played with us, and that was the first. And he's like, you know what? I think I really want to play with you guys. So since then, Christopher German has been playing with Eric Vesbit.
Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah, and
awesome.
it's been wonderful. It's been awesome. So then,
oh my god.
So we had the premiere party here, and we've all been playing D&D since.
And this series has gotten some really good reviews. Like from what I've seen from the first season, and people have really like. There's a lot of good accolades that people have given about how cool this series is.
Where can we find it?
Currently, you can find it by pledging to our Kickstarter.
That's what we're
going to talk about. Yes. So I need a couple of bucks to kind of finish the second season. And then any extra is going to go toward the third season.
Okay.
So I just
we'll
need...
put the link to the Kickstarter in our YouTube video, and then on the Instagram and TikTok and stuff.
How many episodes are in each season, or the first season? I guess
this is cool because there's 8 episodes in the first season.
Okay.
8 episodes the second season.
Okay. And
then we have something that I wrote, which is kind of a spin-off series, if you will. Okay. It's called 12-Sided Dice Side Quests. Basically, what it is I had all these little ideas that I couldn't jam into the main story because each episode kind of dovetails onto the next one.
Sure.
So if I were to but I had ideas for the characters that like when you read a comic book, it's like Mr. Fantastic does something and they editors know this happened in issue
whatever.
104.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I have that, but to divert and shove that into the main story would slow it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, I had a lot of actors that were kind enough to help me behind the scenes that should have their own web series in their own right.
Just that.
So
fun.
So I wanted to write something for them to do, but I couldn't jam 40 characters into the main story.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, there's one.
We need to hire the Russo brothers.
I was going to say, you're not going to Avengers Doomsday yet?
Yeah. Maybe the third season.
12-sided die, Doomsday.
We need to call the Russos.
It's weird because one of those side quests is an in-story podcast that we literally shot literally right here.
Wow.
Right here in the Latverian lounge here.
This is a great area for a podcast.
Yeah, it happened.
I don't know why.
It happened
I just
here.
get that sense.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah,
so,
very
cool.
You had brought a clip for us to actually maybe
watch.
Yeah.
Let me set up who else is in season 2 because season 2 is a huge step a production level above the first season. It was directed by a very logical choice. Yes, I said it. Tim Russ, who played Tuvok on Star Trek Voyager.
Oh, nice.
He directed it.
Yeah.
Kate Torrey is in it.
Okay.
She's great. Christopher German, Eric Vesbit. Darren Dupree Washington, Chris Wood Bell. She plays the female lead. So Grace Shen is in it. Deborah Sharp Taylor. Dax Jordan is in it.
But it really is like a testament to the quality and your passion behind the project. To have all these people committed to it like that. I mean, that's great.
It's really fantastic.
Wow.
Mitch Narito is in it, who played Donkey Doug. On The Good Place.
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Donkey Doug kind of caught you off guard, didn't it?
Yeah, they did.
Donkey Doug often catches me.
But I like it.
Mason Kronhaus is in it, and Ryan Lee Seaton is in it. Okay. Ryan did script suit behind the scenes, and she's in a fantastic actress. In fact, she raps. She rapped right where you're sitting, Caleb. Right where you're sitting.
Oh my gosh!
She did kind of a D&D-esque rap.
Okay.
So
I will not be be doing that today.
But the two special guest stars are Kitty Swink, who was in 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine, and Andrew J. Robinson, who played Garrick on Deep Space Nine.
We have a lot of Star Trek alumni.
Yes, which is fantastic, which is really cool.
Yeah,
so and the clip shows myself, Tim Harris, who plays the comic book store employee. So he plays like what one of you guys are.
So I'll be very critical.
Yeah,
he plays Gerald.
He plays Gerald. Yeah, Tim Harrison, and then Andy Robinson is in it. So it's and we shot it. This scene in the clip is right here at the comic.
All right, so we're gonna throw that up on the YouTube channel, and you can hear it. But we encourage you to go over the YouTube channel and make sure you watch this clip because it will be the first time.
Yes,
footage.
This is the absolute world premiere of any footage of season 2. We are breaking news here today.
That's right, breaking new ground.
On the Hero Panel podcast.
First time. Let's go.
Yes.
I just met her. What could she have for me?
I don't know. Maybe she wants you to sign a picture for the store.
Oh, God.
Should put it behind the register next to the one of Lucy Lawless and the guy that wrote A Stitch in Time.
What if this fan support thing doesn't work?
Well, if you don't get the money, you don't have to produce it.
No. What if people don't want what I'm offering anymore?
Can't believe I'm telling you this, but you got to roll the dice.
I'm too old for that.
Risk is your business. Well, right now, birthday parties are your business. But why do that when you could be coming up with new stuff for us to buy and to inspire us?
You know, I never got that. I mean, for years, people have been telling me that my game has inspired people to do great things. I mean, join the Peace Corps, become a teacher, make music, act. I was always, don't blame me.
The game encourages problem solving.
The only problem I wanted to solve was not be broke.
Would anyone care for some complimentary popcorn?
Do you have cheese popcorn?
What is this, a carnival? You get what you get and don't have a fit.
That guy's growing on me.
Oh my gosh, Curtis, that was so good.
Isn't that cool?
That's so. It looks great. It sounds great, and man,
funny,
really funny.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
I'm very excited to see more of that season. Like
Thanks.
that.
I know it was a short clip, but I mean, very believable characters.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, absolutely. I feel like that he is the kind of person that we know.
We know.
That we know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's the Gary Gygax of Swords and Swordsmen
of this show.
So and he has his own arc, as all the characters do in there in the whole second season. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. I'm very excited. I'm excited to premiere it.
Yes.
On the Hero Panel podcast here at the Comic Book. I'm very excited. So this is very
we were
very momentous.
Very grateful that you brought that in to show us.
I have one last question for you. Can you give any sort of advice about anyone who's setting out to create a web series or any sort of creative endeavor like that?
Because this is one of the things that we really we want to talk about on this podcast is being a safe and encouraging space for creatives and people that want to have that community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my only advice would be just go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's 1,000 reasons, and people will tell you why you shouldn't do it or the right way to do it or the wrong. Just write something, find your friends, and then shoot it. And just as you go from step to step to step, people will find you. If you have something you're passionate about and you've written something, and people are always writing something, people are always shooting something.
Right.
Nobody's shot thing. Nobody's written something. Write it. Doesn't matter if it sucks.
Yeah.
It does not matter.
Finish it.
Just finish it and then just go to the next step. And there were many, many points along this journey that I'm like, am I doing this correctly? I need to go talk to this person and get this person's advice and this person's advice. And then at one point I'm like,
I just got to do it. Just do it.
And along the way, people are like, oh, I should have done it this way. I should have done it I'm like, well, of course. If I'd have known then what I know now, but now I know now what I should have known then. And
it's like the mutant that goes to Charles Xavier and is like, hey, I'm going to join the X-Men. He says, well, what's your power? He says, well, hindsight. and Professor X is like, well, that's not going to help us at all. And he goes, I can see that now.
Oh, that's hysterical. Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, no, so just go ahead and do it. I mean, that's again, like everything about this. There's certain things that I wildly had no idea what I was doing.
Sure,
wildly, but I know now.
Yeah.
So just treat it as a learning experience.
And you brought that into the second season when you made that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, those lessons. Wow.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yep.
Curtis, we really appreciate you being on here today.
Thank you. Please notify me on launch on the Kickstarter. We have lots of great perks.
Yes,
and
please.
We have some great perks for comic book people because I love Because the Sketchy Bug group did this. They had a Kickstarter, the Sketchy Bug group, which is here. They had collectible cards for their Kickstarter, and I bid it was like really expensive, but I bid to the point where I got all the cards.
Yeah.
I couldn't just get to it. I got So what we have in the Kickstarter is at certain levels you get a full set of Season 1 collectible cards, and then a full set of Season 2 collectible cards.
What?
Yes.
That's awesome.
And there's also dice and leather dice bags, and then you get downloads of the first season and downloads of the second season.
Perfect.
So it's on. And then we're going to have stretch goals. But yeah, it's on Kickstarter, 12-sided dice season 2.
It'll be in the link. Check it
out.
out.
In the link. Yes.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
We appreciate it.
I really appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime.
Yep. Good to be here.
Oh, man. Curtis.
Wow,
he's such a cool guy,
and I'm so stoked that he shared that clip with us.
Yes,
oh my gosh,
very excited. 12-sided die. It's a great project, and
we'll be keeping you guys updated on that as well. And please support Curtis.
Yeah,
we've included links and everything in this video.
Check out the Kickstarter. It's going to be fun. Yeah, I think you guys will have a really good time watching this series. Let's jump into some trivia. I'm excited, man. I got some questions for you, and for you ready. At home. I'm gonna say, for me, I think I started off pretty accessible, but
we'll see.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
We'll see. I'm not great with trivia.
So welcome to Mobius Chair Trivia. And today...
Wait, are you in the Mobius chair?
I'm in the No, you're in the Mobius chair. You should know everything.
All right, cool.
Yeah, you're sitting in the Mobius chair. Mobius Chair Trivia, Fight or Flight edition.
Okay.
Because I came up with a clever little title.
I like that. I'm also a little nervous.
Question number 1.
Okay.
What is the name of the small purple dragon who pals around with Kitty Pryde of the X-Men?
Lockheed.
Boom.
Boom.
Got the first one.
Thank you for that one.
Am I luring you into a false sense of security?
Probably.
Yeah.
I know you.
Question number 2. What currently in the comics, because when you're talking about comics, things change all the time. In the comics, what metal are Hawkgirl's wings made out of?
I always pronounce it wrong. I'm going to do my best right here.
Do you know what it is?
Yes. Ninth metal?
Nth metal. And it stands for... Do you know what it stands for?
Do I? No.
Ninth.
Oh, ninth metal. Okay,
ninth metal. It is the ninth metal from...
I'm going to retract that. Watch this. Ninth metal.
Wow. You got that on the first take.
I know.
That's awesome.
Oh, my gosh.
A big part of the Dark Knight metal series.
But I knew.
Really good.
I got that one.
He got that one.
I got that one.
And it's only 3 questions. So last and
final...
and
you can learn all about nth metal in metal.
Yeah, Dark Knight's metal.
Death metal.
All right, and then this is the last one.
Okay. Ready.
What is the name of Sam Wilson's feathery partner in Marvel Comics?
Oh, I know it. Oh my gosh. Come on. Red Wing.
Yay, Red Wing. Nice. You got it. Yeah. I told you I was going easy on this.
I was
this is Marvel trivia or comics trivia that I don't want to,
I'm not sweating.
I don't want to make anybody mad at me today. I just wanted to have fun.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that.
Now, what are Omega Red's tentacles made out of?
Adamantium, no?
No.
Carbon.
Antium.
Carbonantium. That's what. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew it was one of like the antiums.
But did you like that I went with the fight or flight? It was all flying based.
Yeah, questions. I did like that. That was cool. I actually forgot about it, and now that you mention it, I'm like, there it is.
See,
I like it.
I worked on that all of 12 minutes.
Well, Caleb, next week I'm gonna have some
trivia
trivia for you.
Trivia?
And it's gonna be doable. But I also know that you have a better memory than I do. I'm just saying it's true,
well,
and they will be moderately challenging.
The 70s were a wild time for me, dude. There's so much going on right now.
What?
Speaking of major characters and things that have just been released. The Avengers Doomsday cast.
Oh yeah,
can we talk about?
Wow.
We're wrapping up
here,
but man, there's so much to talk about.
Okay, we're just gonna say this: Marvel Rivals Season 2 is gonna be coming out April 11th, and with that reveal, we're probably going to find out what new characters are being added. And it seems like very quickly we're gonna get Blade, Ultron and
a lot of X-Men
and a lot of X-Men characters.
So our theory here is that the next season is probably going to be heavily based around like
Krakoa,
the Mutant Nation.
There's a lot of in-game dialogue between Magneto and other characters where he's talking about
referencing Krakoa. So,
and we know it's going to be a map. It's been, and they've said it. Yeah, it's coming out. But
so,
anyways, check out Marvel Rivals.
Check out Marvel Rivals, and
drop your gamer tag in there. Maybe we can play sometime.
We'll try to maybe even do a Twitch stream or a live play.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Are we getting ahead of ourselves? Maybe, but why not?
Yeah.
The Avengers Doomsday Cast. Boom.
Okay, here we go.
Just dropped. As they call it, the Avenged Chairs.
Yeah.
Avenged Chairs assembled.
I'm going to say this. Yeah. I like it. I like that we're getting this information. I'm a little bit of a traditionalist in the way where I like going to the theater and being surprised. Sure. I don't want to know. I know there's going to be a lot of surprises. Sure. This isn't the only people that's in the movie. There's going to be plenty more. So I am looking forward to those surprises as well. Yeah. But I am happy with what we got, and I'm happy. Yeah. And now it leaves us with plenty to talk about on this podcast.
So much to theorize and talk about.
What part do we want to start at first? Do we want to talk about how the X-Men are being incorporated in this? Oh my gosh!
Not just the X-Men. The original Fox X-Men, including James Marsden as Cyclops, Rebecca Romijn back as Mystique, Alan Cumming,
Patrick Stewart.
Dude, when they announced Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler coming back, I was like,
wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts
Kelsey
of
Grammer,
Kelsey Grammer is Beast. Both Patrick Stewart and Andy McCullen. It's going to be amazing.
I'm hearing that, of course there's going to be so many twists and turns in this story, but I'm hearing that this is going to be almost their official goodbye.
I'm assuming
because what it sounds like is Marvel Studios is going to make a new X-Men movie,
new X-Men series,
and
with
they
new
will probably
new actors,
the whole thing.
Which is funny. I think
because this is a thing where worlds are going to be colliding and secret wars are happening.
Incursions are going to start happening,
which is probably how they're going to be involved in this story.
And I thought I've been seeing.
We've already seen Patrick Stewart's Professor X in Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness.
We did, or a variant of him.
Or maybe that's him.
I see so many people online talking about
it was Picard.
Oh, this is going to be Avengers versus X-Men now. This is like what this is, and
there might be elements of that.
I just want to throw this out there. If you watch my channel or my videos and stuff on Instagram and TikTok, I talk about this. They're giving us a lot of information, straight up, but they're giving us no plot.
No,
you can infer things. I mean, that the X-Men are going to be there, huge. Are they going to be in there for 90 minutes or 3 minutes of this film?
One thing we know about the Russo brothers is they are amazing with handling a large cast of characters, and even if some of these roles are small, they still get to have their moments because they understand, and I read this in an interview that they had, that they know that each character is somebody's favorite character.
Yes, absolutely.
And so that character deserves to have their moment on screen, and oh my gosh, Channing Tatum's Gambit, he's going to be in the movie. I love Gambit. Yes. He blew us both. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
I was about to say he blew us. He didn't. He's in Deadpool.
Channing, though, if you're out there and you,
let me know. He was in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, and phenomenal.
And through a deleted scene, we learned that he survived the collapse of the I don't know.
And it was just a nice thing for Channing to actually get to do this. A project that he's had.
And he got his Gambit eyes.
Well, he has had yanked this project, the rug out from under him so many times in his career.
Do yourself a favor and Google the Channing Tatum Gambit movie and the plight that he had trying to make it happen. And it was really, when we got to see that movie, if you knew about it, you were like, oh.
Yes!
And it was almost treated as if it was a joke, but
I think it would have been really good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. It worked out, but it was one of those things when the reveal, you're like, no. And then he has the accent and everything, and you're just like, this is working big time for me.
Way better than I was anticipating.
Yeah. So, that's huge news. Avengers Doomsday is going to be great, but we still have a ways to go before that.
And so we'll talk about it a lot more on here as new information drops. We've got Thunderbolts coming out.
We got to watch Fantastic Four, man.
Fantastic Four.
So I'm going to say this too. Brave New World, Captain America Brave New World, it's required viewing. You should know what's going on with Sam Wilson. But Thunderbolts really is now being set up to something. You got to watch Thunderbolts, and you have to see Fantastic Four if you're going to watch this next Avengers movie.
If you want to go into it as informed as you can be.
Sure.
Obviously, people go in and, I can't.
There's exposition for people who haven't seen those.
Sure.
Tasteful exposition.
But again, this isn't homework.
Yeah,
we're not. You
don't have to do anything you don't want to. Guys.
Yeah, these movies aren't. I would never use the word required.
Don't stress yourself out.
Yeah,
it's good.
But if you like these stories and you like these characters,
do it.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're going to want to watch these.
Also, everyone's probably going to be talking about it. So, and if you like our podcast, we're going to be talking about it.
Yeah. So, unless you want us to spoil something accidentally or on purpose.
Oh, can't help myself sometimes.
I know, Eli. I didn't know that about Channing Tatum.
He's going to blow us up. He's going to blow us up with his cards. He's going to charge the kinetic energy in our microphones.
Power. Exactly. But yeah, I think that's about all the time we've got right now. We've had a lot of great topics and fun, conversations this episode.
Yes.
Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Tuning into the first episode, we got some great responses from you guys. Please tell us more thoughts and share ideas and things that you want to hear us talk about. We're kind of here to grow and expand. We loved having Curtis on today, doing interviews with local creators.
We will be doing more.
We will be doing more. People that are passionate about the projects that they're working on. I've never experienced really a passion project that I haven't enjoyed.
Sure. This is a passion project. That's how this started.
Exactly, is a passion project. We love this stuff. We love being able to reach out to our community as comic book nerds and make sure that this place is a safe and welcoming place to new viewers and new readers.
You are home.
Yeah. Join us. Please engage with us on social media.
You also get to hang out with little Nick Fury.
Yeah. I'm Caleb the Comic Book Viking.
And I'm Eli Smith.
And thank you guys so much for listening to the Hero Panel Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Adios.